I'm part of Novigo Solutions since last 11 years. I'm one of the co-founder of Novigo. Brief about my background is I did my engineering in PA College in the year 2004, and I did my engineering in electronics and communication. Then I moved to Chennai as part of my career, and I started my career with Accenture. Briefly, about 5 years I worked in Accenture. Then I moved to TCS for 2 years, and in the year 2011, we thought we will get into entrepreneurial journey, and along with me, 3 of my other friends, and we 4 of us started this journey in 2011 in Mangalore. First 1 year we were in a different brand, and then 2013 we rebranded ourselves in Novigo Solutions, and it's been 11 years now.
What made you quit the job?
Of course, that was my dream during college also. I never thought that I'll get into IT, but I always wanted to do something on my own. So that was always running in my mind, and at the end of 2011, of course, IT, you're always IT, you take them to Western world, right? So as part of my job, I was about to travel to Western world as a permanent deputation. Of course, to US, and during then we friends got together and we thought, okay, why not start into IT services and product, one of these 2 companies.
Were all your friends together in Accenture or?
No, we were, I think, myself and Hanif, we were college mates, we were batchmates, and Jarud in the same year, but he was from other college called Manipal. And we were in the same batch, but our 4th partner is senior to us. He's Mr. Praveen Kalbavi. He's an ex-Infosys, and he's a veteran. He had about 22 years experience. He was the first 150 employee of Infosys, but when he quit, he was heading. He joined in 1991 to Infosys.
One of the initial ones.
He's one of the initial ones, and when he left, Infosys was 150,000 people. But now I think it's about 300,000. He was heading Mangalore Infosys Center.
Okay.
So we met him in a common forum, and we discussed about our plans, and he joined hands with us, and he's our current CEO of Novigo.
So you had a veteran on board.
It's a mix of veteran and our young enthusiast is what I would say, because during that we were 8 years experience, all 3 of us. Now I can call myself as almost 20 years experience, but during then it was just 8 years experience, and Praveen's experience of 20 years plus in the industry definitely helped us start the entrepreneurial journey.
Was it a risky decision quitting the job?
Yes. It was what I would say, risky, courageous, whatever you call. But only thing what drive us is we wanted to get into entrepreneurial journey. That was a common thing across us. That driven us into the entrepreneurial journey. Of course, things worked well for us, and we had clear thoughts in our mind that what exactly we wanted to do in services. Of course, initially we were debating about whether to start as IT product company or IT services company. We debated a lot, and finally we thought we will start IT services business, and on the course of journey we will see if there is any product to be built, because services is something which we all worked, and our experience was mostly into services. That's the reason we had to bet on our whatever experiences and start the IT services company. But in last 10 years, on the other part is like we acquired 2 companies which is a product based companies. So our dream of getting into product as well as services worked along with our journey.
So you won it all.
Exactly.
Could you just explain it in layman terms, like what is the difference between IT in service and product as well?
See, product services, you would have heard of Google, example, Google, SAP Labs. SAP would be more appropriate to say. So they have a ERP solution, right? Oracle and SAP. So they build a product. Then they go to the customer and sell their product. Of course, there could be some implementation, customization would be required. Majority of their problem statement would be covered in that product. Whereas as a services company, we take the customer's requirement and we build as per their customer. Not a tailor-made solutions as per the customer needs. One. Second, as a services company, we also do part of the work. Like product companies, when they sell the product, there would be implementation and post-implementation services, right? Those product companies may not be interested. So they engage with the services company or a partner company like us, and we engage them. So in a simple term, if you say, we tailor-made solutions as per the customer needs, and product companies will go with their product and
try to sell it.
But usually product companies would have solved one of the domain problems. They would have built the product in such a way that that particular domain, most of the problems are readily fit for their customer needs.
Now, coming to the topic of AI, obviously for an owner, it makes their job easier in terms of saving money. But from a perspective of an employee or a person, what should he or she do?
See, AI is a buzzword as of now. I mean, there is one level above, there is something called generative AI, which is currently going on. So AI, if you really look at last 30, 40 years of IT industry in India, every 10 years, I would say, technology was changing. There was something new was coming on your way. For example, in year 2000, India IT boomed because of Y2K. Y2K is like year 2000, right? It was a Y2K thing which is really gave Indian IT industry a biggest boom, because a lot of things changed and people were expecting a lot of changes in the IT industry, and those resulted into multiple projects for India, and that gave a biggest boost to Indian IT industry. So similarly, last few years, like microservices, open source, and different technologies have changed in after 2010 to now. So 2020, now there's a new word called AI. So last 10 years now, for example, if you check ChatGPT, they have been working from last 10 years. OpenAI was working on last 10 years, and this year AI got into reality. I mean, I would say now things are getting into reality. Till now it was theoretical or it was a buzzword, but now a lot of people are coming up with use cases which is solving real-time problems.
Right.
Okay. My perspective on AI would be, definitely it is yet another challenge for us, for all of us. As an entrepreneur, for a company like us, we have to adopt AI. We don't have a choice.
Right.
Similarly, from an employee point of view, they'll have to learn this because they don't have a choice to do that. So work, I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people say that workforce would reduce. It will reduce the number of job opportunities. But I would take it, workforce won't reduce. Nature of jobs will change. Okay, as when the computer came, a lot of repercussion was there from the IT industry or non-IT industry, where computers will take our jobs, especially in banks and other industries. But it has not taken the job. Rather, new set of jobs has emerged, and a lot of new job opportunities have created because of computers. So similarly, AI, I feel new emerging jobs will create. We'll have to adopt, as a company we'll have to adopt, as an employee you will have to adopt into AI. As a student, you don't have a choice other than learning AI, what is new things in AI. And technology is changing so fast now, even the students or employees or as a company, we will have to adopt so quickly so that we also on par with the market, what is happening in the market.
Well, you have told that AI makes job easier, but don't you think at one point of time, companies, like for example the workforce, in one point of view it is a burden. So don't you think that AI will reach in at a point where it can reduce the workforce and automate everything like that?
No, that's correct. See, AI, end of the day, ChatGPT example. So ChatGPT has given a lot of new things for content writers, bloggers, or even for any employees to get the code snippets, or it could be blog writing, anything. I mean, if you see, ChatGPT has become very handy. So that two way of doing it. So using that, rather you think that how can you be more productive?
Yeah, it increases productivity.
Definitely it increases. Second, to build that, there is a team which is working on that backend, right? Of course, number of job opportunity in a particular industry might reduce, but that doesn't mean that other industries, maybe things are going to move much faster. Some new set of opportunities would come up, is what I feel. Of course, it is too early for us to judge, but my two cents, what I would say is, it is going to create new set of opportunities for the youngsters or a new generation. It is going to create new set of opportunities, what I would feel.
Do you think it has saturated the amount of engineers that have been, because everyone is trying to get into tech because that is the only job that is paying. Rewarding.
See, of course, as year goes by, if you really see 90s to 2000, most of the guys would have passed out engineering, would have got into one of the industry. Now 2000 onwards, I wouldn't say all engineers would have got into IT industry or non-IT industry, which is respective fields. Only the talent would. So as year goes, unless outsourcing increases to India, I'm talking only about the Indian perspective, the talent will get. Of course, you should have something different from others. The cream will definitely get into opportunity, because as per the prediction now, if the current year NASSCOM predicted 2 lakh engineers is last year's demand, next 5 years it's going to increase to 6 lakh fresh engineers per year. But if your supply versus demand, it is more than 6 lakhs, then definitely there will be imbalance, which I see at least last 2 years. A lot of engineering colleges have increased the computer science stream based on the demand. Of course, if you have a right talent, right skills, I don't see a problem in job opportunities. If you lack that, then definitely you will have to find a way to get into the IT industry, being competitive, or get into a finishing school where you bridge that gap.
So mainly don't work on the degree.
Exactly.
But
But
more on
improve on your
upskilling
skill.
yourself.
Exactly.
So what does a company like Novigo look into, when they're hiring? Like what does the ideal CV look like according to you?
So we look at, of course, academics is one of the things which we look at to get into the entry. But after the academics, during the interview process, we look at how adaptive he is, how flexible he is, or what he has explored other than the academics on his own interest, self-interest, because self-interest is very important. As I covered in the previous conversation, technology is changing so fast. So we need guys who are smart enough to pick things on his own,
And
rather
eager to
than
learn also.
teaching him a classroom training and make him learn from our own effort. So that is one of the key aspects which we took it. Then of course, when you are working with the global, Novigo as a company, we work with global clients across. We work with almost 16 countries as customer base. We have our own presence in 8 countries. So when you are working with global exposure, right, your communication skills, presentation skills is also very important apart from your technical skills. So one key aspect we look, how comfortable he is learning new things, how we'll adapt to the new environment is very key, very much important for us to hire any new freshers.
So CGPA is just a bar.
It's
to-
definitely requires, because it's an entry level. I wouldn't deem in the CGPA, because entry level, of course, you need a criteria to bare minimum criteria to take the entry, because that shows that how he was serious in his academics also. But that's not only the aspect. It doesn't mean that somebody with 9 CGPA would get in and 7 CGPA wouldn't get in. Okay, that's an entry career. But after that, we check their logical skills, aptitude skills, communication skills, and technology skills. All it's a put together. We need all-rounders who can work on any environment.
Well, like you said, like CGPA, yeah, I get it. But one thing I find very amusing is, like, I had a conversation with one of my friend. So he got around, I guess, 9.2 CGPA. So when I was, asking him and I was telling him what kind of projects are you going to work at, and then I was like, ChatGPT is there, and he got shocked. He's like, does it give codes? Does it generate? And he doesn't know what this blockchain is. Like these kind of buzzwords. So I clearly see that academics is just not it. They are just not adapting to the new technology, or catching up with the trends around the globe.
Exactly.
So
This is what when we address any new freshers or college students, we tell them, keep your ears and eyes open. What's
Ears
happening
and
around
eyes
keep whatever is happening around the world, you need to adopt and you need to update it. Okay. Sometimes, because you always know, right, every 5 years even the universities also change their syllabus to see how things are. But still there would be some gap would be there, industry versus academic, some gap is there. How fast you bridge that gap is very important for students. Okay. There are 2 ways to improve it. One, college will give that opportunity. Sometimes all opportunities college may not be able to give you, but nothing stopping you to learning on your own, because 2000 to 2020, your resources in the internet or your gadgets or anything, if you see, it is unlimited. Now anything you want to get in, it is required, it's there in the internet. There are many portals, there are many sites where you can go and learn on your own. Udemy, Coursera, there are many things which you can seek the knowledge. Okay, earlier it used to be only the classroom trainings. During our times, most of the times, if you have to learn some technology, you will have to get enrolled to a institute or a finishing school. But I think now it is not only mandatory to go there and learn on the course or finishing school. You can learn by your own, because there are enough sources available.
But in terms of colleges, do you think 4 years is required to learn all these things?
Yeah, this also I have a debate, because first year of engineering.
It's a very tricky question. It's a very tricky question.
Actually, right, because in 4 years they're teaching the same syllabus or the whatever that syllabus is. The things around the world might be changing at a faster pace as well. So when they come out,
I mean,
what about the...
See, I mean, we always, when we go to the colleges, they ask us, what do you feel and what is your feedback? One feedback which constantly we give is, bring industry veterans to academics and make them learn. So one of the key differentiators from Indian universities to Western universities, this is a key difference, where they collaborate with corporates much more than Indian universities. So that is very important aspect which I see has to happen drastically. And I recently see last 2 years, I think VTU or autonomous, I'm not sure about it. There are few colleges are calling industry experts on a weekend basis to take the class. Seminars and even the classes. Some of the subjects, I think elective subjects are taken by industry experts. I think a couple of our employees are also working in the colleges on a part-time basis. And as a company, we also encourage that, because we see that that is very key essential part for colleges to adopt that. The two things. One, they come up with a practical experience in the industry. Hands-on. Second, whatever experience they share will open the eyes of students what they lack and what they need to work on it.
Right.
Okay, which is very important skills, what I feel. And 4 years is a tricky question. Because again, I would say it's a. I mean, I wouldn't want to answer that. But of course, if you are smart enough, you don't require.
Right.
Okay, one of the reason is like India. I mean, even including us, most of the IT companies hire only BE, BC, MCA graduates. Whereas I've seen in the IT industry where a mathematician has become a programmer. A musician has converted into a programmer. Okay, so if there is a willing power, if there is a grasping skills, and if perseverance and dedication is there, people can get into IT from a different industry, different background.
Like you said, like if they provide the technical skills and if they force the students to do that, I feel you get better engineers, because by the end of the 4 years they'll just have it on paper. It's not technical.
Exactly. I feel it's possible, as you rightly mentioned. It's possible. As long as the right skill set and dedication is there. Of course, they need a platform to get that, and it is possible to get into IT industry and shine there. Okay. So that shows, I mean, it isn't, whether it's a 4 years or 5 years, it depends on the person how exactly they pick it up. It's relative. It's very relative.
Okay.
We spoke from an employee's perspective, what kind of skills they needed. Now from an entrepreneur's perspective, leadership is obviously a quality that is required. What else along the years have you learnt the hard way? Or
of course, I mean, as an entrepreneur, each day is a learning. I wouldn't say that I have learned enough. Okay? Even after 10 years, there are many more things to learn. But one is focus on your goal. Okay, perseverance, dedication, and hard work is definitely required. Okay. Bit of luck, not many entrepreneurs, but bit of luck is required. Luck in the sense, right time, right place. Opportunity, grab the opportunity at the right time is very important. That is one thing which I have learned in last 10 years, because even in adopting the technology, we have talked about the AI. If I don't adopt on the right time, I may lose out. If I adopt on the right time, we don't know what is the right time, right? I mean, you should be able to grasp or identify the right opportunity at the right time is very important skill as an entrepreneur, so that you become successful. Okay. So now this one, not only in IT industry, okay, it could be a trading or a manufacturing. Identifying the right item to manufacture is also very key aspect.
Right.
Identifying the right market to market is also very important, and how you market is also important. So that way, I said all 4 plus bit of luck is also required, is what I would say. It's a mixture of all. But your goal has to be very clear what you want to focus. And also, one of the things when you do something, right, you be the differentiator in the market. Whatever you do, whichever field you start, you be the differentiator. When you go to the customer, you should be able to differentiate yourself, say that okay, this is how I am different from others, so that your selling happens much faster.
A little bit extra compared to something else, like something
exactly
else.
Something you need
something unique to the table.
Exactly, something unique to the table, because USP is very important, because things have become competitive in any field. Today, from an IT point of view, if you see, we were always saying India is cost competitive, but there are few markets which are becoming more competitive than us. It could be Vietnam, it could be Philippines, or
Vietnam
Bangladesh, Sri Lanka.
Countries like Vietnam
exactly.
They have tech growing in those countries as well.
Tech is growing, because earlier Vietnam and Philippines used to be BPO hub, and because of their English command and languages. But now IT is also picking up, because their cost competitive is also there. They are becoming more competitive in terms of skills as well. So when you are doing that, you need to bring some unique things on your table so that you win over them. Not only I've been talking about Asian countries, right? Even Far East countries, Eastern Europe countries like Ukraine is also coming up. Some of the near shore countries near to US also is picking up. South American country like Brazil and Guatemala, a few of the countries also picking up in IT. So it's not that India is only place where Western countries are looking at for outsourcing. So even other countries are also getting explored. So you need to bring something unique to the table to be the differentiator.
So like how did this IT industry come up? Like in my perspective, I think that it is because you get work labors cheaper in engineers in India cheaper than compared to the US. So like, is it the only reason why?
No,
India?
that's not only the reason. Maybe that was the reason it started in 1980s. I think I would say 1980s is the first time where companies like Infosys
happened,
and Wipro, all these companies have started outsourcing. Maybe before that, Texas Instruments, some of the VLSI company explored India market, and that's how this IT. GE was there before Infosys 1980s. So this services company started with the pitch that we have the right skills in India. Of course, the cost is also another factor which started. But over a period of time, cost is not only the reason. Skill set, cost, our dedication to IT industry, and our hard work. Definitely, we are far more flexible in terms of IT in India, where we work more than 8 hours in some of the places where customer needs. That is flexibility and adaptability, right? That's also one of the key aspects for Indian IT industry. But over a period of time, the younger generation, these things are bit of changing.
Work-life balance.
That's not a good sign. Okay, of course, work-life balance. Every company tries to give that. See, in an IT industry now, from my last 20 years perspective, it's not that every phase of your life will go through that. There are some of the phases where if you are committed to the customer, your commitment to the customer is very important, and you need to fulfill that customer needs. To do that, you need to go bit of a stretch in your work-life balance, and it won't be constant. For a certain period, you will have to do it, and that's what bring the unique example which I have given, right? Unique offerings to your table. Then only the customer also would appreciate your commitment to the needs, because whenever a customer gives a problem, they are answerable to their business needs. So you're solving their business problems. When you're solving the business problems, there would be timeline is also important. They would have committed to the end customer.
Right.
So customer also would appreciate if you do extra bit from your side to fulfill that timeline.
Have you heard of that term, Great Indian Resignation?
Great Indian?
Resignation. People all over the country, like you said, if they're not comfortable in their workplace, they start resigning, because I think the reason is opportunities abundance. Like back then, people used to work any odd jobs as well.
Exactly. So no, I mean this I would say we have faced during COVID time. Because work from office has changed to work from home. So tier 2 cities have got a lot of opportunities, and a bit of change happened. It's mostly circular, because if you see company A to B, B to C, C to D, and again back D to A. So this was a circular movement.
It's like how the big four works.
Exactly. Right? It's a circular movement happened between the companies, and end of the day our salary cost also increased, and our cost to the end client also increased, which is again becoming a bit of a challenge for most of the IT companies. If this year, if you see, most of the bigger companies have frozen their IT recruitment, because of that reason. Your cost has increased, and demand is also on the global market is bit of stagnant this year. But it is a cycle. Every 5 to 8 years, one recession cycle comes. It is not going to last longer. Again, it's going to come up.
So we can call it a recession.
Certain part of the world, yes, because banking industry in US have called a bit cautious this year. So banking is the first one to get hit, and if one industry gets hit, it's a ripple effect to other industries also would.
It starts with banking.
Exactly, and work from office to work from home, right? And post COVID, now work from home location has started. So this is a bit of advantage in tier 2 cities in India. So right now, I mean, some of the surveys showed there are about 26 cities in India, tier 2 cities like Mangalore is going to pick up on IT, and we see already in the ground that there are some of the IT companies have started exploring Mangalore.
I mean, you are the prime example.
No, I would say, we were there before COVID as well as a tier 2 city exploration. In fact, we have after COVID we have moved to more tier cities like Pune, Chennai I wouldn't call it. Pune and Cochin are other tier 2 cities we have explored. Chennai is another city which we have explored, and we have started Chennai, Bangalore. Bangalore was there in 2014 onwards. Chennai we started 2 years back. Cochin and Pune we started this year. So we are there in the 5 cities, 3 tier 2 cities and 2 tier 1 cities.
But yet I feel Mangalore could be doing much more better. Why is that it's only Bangalore that
gets all the attention and instead?
So it's a inorganic growth happened in naturally in Bangalore, because initially few companies have come to Bangalore. Of course, the talent pool availability is the biggest advantage for any IT company to start in Bangalore, and cosmopolitan nature of Bangalore city. Bangalore and Hyderabad took the initial advantage. Then Pune and Chennai also, Chennai and Gurgaon also picked up. So these were the 5 or 6 major cities which exploded in the initial days. But as I mentioned, now tier 2 cities like Mangalore, Trivandrum, Coimbatore, Cochin, or Visakhapatnam, if you see north, Bhubaneswar, Jaipur. There are many tier 2 Chandigarh, many tier 2 cities are picking up because every big companies are starting as satellite centers in these cities. Okay, and getting distributed is a new one, and of course Bangalore will have a natural growth, but these cities are also going to grow in IT industry is what my expectation in the next few years.
I think it's cheaper also in terms of
course infrastructure, so resource cost is lesser compared to the tier 1 cities, and even for resources, cost of living is another factor, and living close to their hometown. Cost of living, and also there are other family values closer to your family. There are other advantages also helping them to move to cities.
As an employer, which would you prefer, like for your employees, work from home or from office?
See, for us, productivity and quality is more important. Okay, but of course, I wouldn't deem it called tier 1 and tier 2. But for us, I'm sure some of the other companies also would agree. Tier 2, we are trying to expand more because of the stickiness and low attrition rate. Because tier 1 would have a more attrition rate, and tier 2 would have a lesser attrition rate, and more stickiness would be
What
there.
is attrition? Because the viewers...
Okay, except COVID time, we always had single digit attrition percentage, and only during COVID we had a double digit attrition rate. So I would say tier 2 cities always had a lower attrition rate to tier 1. And as a company, we were always lower attrition from day 1 to now.
No, could you define what the term means? Attrition.
Oh, attrition is now, okay, sorry.
That's all right.
Attrition is nothing but people churn out. People move out. You mentioned about IT
like how people
move out, leaving and joining other company, right? And we have to, of course, hire from some other company and replace their experience level. So that is called attrition. So we always had single digit attrition except for the 2 years of COVID time.
And one more question is, Infosys is like the biggest software service based company in India. So you are also in the same field. So how do you differentiate between Infosys and yourself? Because
so kind of services what we do, it's more or less same. They are also IT services company. And of course they are in a larger scale, much more wider brand, widely known brand globally. We are putting our baby steps to become there. Of course, our scale is also not to that level, and we are close to 800 people. They are close to 300,000 people. There would be a lot of differentiation. But in terms of services, in a smaller scale, we do the similar services. of course, if you ask me if a particular given client, if we can compete, definitely we can compete. Okay, in terms of quality services, we can definitely compete. We both will have our own way of competing, and we will bring some of the unique services what we can offer to our client. Okay. Sometimes client prefers boutique company like us, because we would give them utmost attention and closer details, and give them some of the value addition which the biggies can't give. So that's the reason we have a different set of competitiveness and unique offerings to the table.
Do you think that the Silicon Valley of the world would turn out to be in Bangalore or in India in some point of time?
So of course Bangalore is called the Silicon Valley of India.
But I'm talking about the world, because
see why Silicon Valley in California is called California State, or San Francisco called as Bay Area is called as Silicon Valley. There are many startups or globally known like Apple or Google. Many companies,
all the big companies
are Facebook or Uber, started from there. So it has become over a period of time, it has become a Silicon Valley of the global, where it is known for startups and successful entrepreneur journey. Even today, I would say Indian IT startups or unicorns, or which is a legendary IT, we have not reached there. Okay, so of course when we reach there, definitely we can also call Silicon Valley of the world, but it's too early for us to call, because we are still not there. Of course, we have done a lot of big things from India in terms of IT services, even on the product side, or we have become a captive center for many of the product development companies. But as a unicorn, we don't have a bigger names like Silicon Valley.
I think mainly it's because the startups, they have emerged, but they have put their footprint within the country, not on a global scale.
Exactly.
And plus, I think they don't focus mostly on the profitability. It's just to pump the stock market value.
No, it is not exactly on the profitability. Overall, any company or any entrepreneur, of course, at one point of time they have to show the profitability.
Yeah, exactly.
But startups have done in such a way that initially they go with the funding. There are different fundings like angel investor funding, early seed fund, then Series A, Series B, multiple series of funding they have gone with. And at certain point of time, they are answerable to the investors that they have to show the profitability. No company would continue to bleed forever.
Right.
Okay. So on your previous note, Indian IT startups like Ola, Flipkart have competed with Amazon, Uber in a smaller scale in Indian country level. So if they go to the global level, of course they can also compete. Of course you need a good strong investors back out, and you need to go to the larger scale in globally. So it requires a lot of courage and a lot of backings from the investors to go worldwide.
The valuation is based on scalability, not mainly on profitability.
Scalability, and I mean, of course, the roadmap. I mean, at certain point of time, investors should get convinced that yes, this company is going to get into the profitability. Ultimately, bottom line is very important for any startups or any company.
It's profitable.
But startup world, they have a different way of doing it. For a services company, we look at the profitability from day one. And at certain point of maybe break even, we will wait, but we cannot bleed for a longer time. But product companies, based on the roadmap, based on the forecasting, they can afford to go for little profitability compromise for initial years until certain point of time, and they show the profitability. If you see any of the startups in last 10 years, if you see, some of them have gone into profitability mode at certain point of time.
But most of them, like the top 10 which I saw, is bleeding out. Like it's been 10 years, Swiggy, 10 years, it's still not
But
profitable.
of course, I mean, if you
Paytm,
really read their forecast, right, they would have defined either 2025 or 2026 they are getting into profitability. I mean, Zomato, I have recently read an article
that their
profitability is increasing and their shrinking margin is reducing. Okay, it's a good sign.
It's not only that, but people have been dependent on the product.
See, whole idea of the startups and unicorns, right, they are making the user acquisition and making you used to it, and at certain point of time
develop a habit, I guess.
Exactly, it becomes an habit. So 2010 or 8 time when the mobile apps penetration was increasing, so I had attended a session where one of the user had mentioned by 2020 or 2025 at certain point of time you will not have many apps in a similar field. Okay, I've seen that trend. If you ask now among ourselves, either you will be a Zomato fan or you are a Swiggy fan or some other Uber Eats or one of them. You will not be using three for a longer time. At certain point of time, you will be used to one of the apps and you start continuing using one of the apps.
For phone payment.
That's how the loyalty comes, and ultimately this loyalty is what getting them into profitability.
I think loyalty is based on whichever is cheaper for us.
Yeah,
no,
as
but
for
I'm saying,
consumer,
I'm saying,
consumer,
I mean, majority of the crowd, right?
Right.
You will end up loyal to the one of the apps or
First
one of the
preference.
startups. Exactly.
Regarding loyalty, in AI field itself, there's a competition going on between Bing and Google. So, which side do you think will win eventually? In
No,
this? Bard or
I mean, again, it is a political question, but I would put it this way: OpenAI had the first advantage compared
right.
to others, even though all would have started in a similar time to work on that. But over a period of time, I would feel maybe Google would beat the other competitors for one reason. They have the highest user data over a period of time which they have been capturing last 20 years. So that would become handy for Google is what I feel, okay, to get the unique advantage over the other period, but only time will answer. But OpenAI has done a good job in getting the early acquisition in the market.
But I feel it's also bleeding out, no? There are reports coming out that.
But I see a lot of use cases using this AI where they can get into profitability much faster than other unicorns. There are a lot of use cases in the real-time world. If each customer, whatever project we are working on, we already see using AI we can solve the customer needs and which can help the customer in a big extent.
Definitely, in a marketing point of view, like in my social media agency as well, for any kind of script or anything like that, immediately, like it gives 10x the better script, better ideas, better ad sets.
Exactly.
It is improving. And I personally use OpenAI's ChatGPT rather than Bard. Bard is a bit.
ChatGPT is the first word that comes to everyone's mind.
Because that's what it's a unique advantage. What they had was like early to market. So they launched a little earlier. I mean, it is relatively little earlier compared to other products, and they got that unique advantage, and it has become a buzzword for most of the techies or students or whatever people use us, right? ChatGPT is the first thing comes to your mind now.
And I feel Google Bard came out just because OpenAI has released it.
That is correct, because early to market, right? It was a peer pressure.
It was a peer pressure.
It was a peer pressure
because they hit Google's core business idea, that is a search engine where you get your answers. ChatGPT does this.
See, already this product company started optimizing using this AI tools, right? There are a few companies have already started using. I mean, I have heard Cisco, Twitter. There are a few companies like these kind of companies where they have started using optimizing based on the AI tools. Okay, so they are trying to save the cost based on that, and because over a period of time that advantage will go to these tools. They will have a paid version, and there will be multiple use cases with the different earning mechanism they will also come up with.
For an entrepreneur, for example, pass out in this year itself, like they're thinking not to go into jobs and they want to start something in the tech industry. So what do you think is the next tech or the next goal which people can hit on?
See, at the moment AI and generative AI is the biggest buzzword around the world. You need to find the right business problem. Okay, in case if you want to do something, right, the business identify the right business problem and try to solve there. So then you become the differentiator from other entrepreneurs, right? That will give you an edge to kickstart your entrepreneur journey. One. So there are other fields like cybersecurity is getting more prominent in the industry. You can start in this IoT space.
IoT.
For other industrial automation side on the mechanical, and the industrial automation is another field where a lot of things are getting automated. So there are many, and data analytics side. Data is the next next fuel of the world is what people predict, right? Of course, because last so many years we have been capturing the data. What you can do much more using data is another area which things to explore. A lot of exploration should happen.
User privacy and all is going to be a great issue in the future.
See, when it comes to cloud, initially that was the privacy was a question, but a lot of enterprise customers already found a way to maintain their privacy, data privacy, yet adopt the cloud. Okay, there are few areas only the government clients and banking industry are yet to explore, but many of the banking industry and government across the world already started adopting cloud space. In the Middle East, we work heavily on Middle East market, and we see the Saudi government, UAE government, or Qatar government is promoting cloud. Of course, Western world like UK, US have adopted cloud few years much earlier, but even the Middle East world, where they were very, very skeptical about cloud adoption. If the cloud companies have started building their own cloud environment within the country to help the countries to adopt cloud environment. So that addresses the data privacy question, which we all had few years back.
Right. Because until I guess 5 years back, privacy was not that big of an issue, but now it has become stricter and stricter. It's
exactly.
like people are becoming skeptical. Like, what if they look at the camera?
See, that gives you another opportunity, the cyber security, where the data privacy, hacking and things, right? The cyber security is getting more prominent, how to prevent secure the data, what you have. So both these fields are going hand in hand, and it is really picking up well. And data is a fuel, is very, in a common man term, if you see, last 20-25 years, for example, you take an entrepreneur or any bank, for example, last 50 years data you have, you can 25 or 50 years, whatever the history of the bank, you have the data with you. Using the data, you can come with a lot of predictive things. How can you give the services better? How can you make their customers' life better? And using customer services, right, it can easily make their life easier, and more customer acquisition would happen.
And regarding the buzzwords, AI is a buzzword like everyone is using. But I remember during COVID, there was a buzzword like cryptocurrency and blockchain, but that have suddenly, died out a little.
No, I don't think it is died out. Like AI, people are still working on blockchain technology. It is still as an unique advantages, where again on the data privacy, in terms of security, it has got an advantage. In terms of cryptocurrency, see, there was a buzzword because of the high boom in the crypto market. There are few countries, like for example, Ripple is one of those cryptocurrency. Recently, they won a legal case in the US court, and some of the countries started adopting, saying that inter-border transfer, they are going to adopt it. So today, any transfer which is happening, inter-country transfer through the banking channel, it's taking time. If at all, if crypto is adopted, maybe it's a fraction of second, your money gets transferred between the countries. Trading can happen much faster, and your lot of new business opportunities might come up. I feel it is also going to come up at certain point of time. I wouldn't say it is died down. Maybe a lot of work has to happen in that area to come up with all the problems, what currently has. You have to address those problem statement, it will come up.
But don't you think that the government is a little bit skeptical when it comes about cryptocurrency?
So government is skeptical because it's a little grey area in terms of whether the complete 100% foolproof tax is going to happen, is what they are skeptical about it. So over a period of time, I think if the government also wouldn't have a choice in case if majority adoption happens.
No, but I think it's more like a lot of illegal activities can take place since it can't be traced, right?
Correct. No, of course, that's what. There are few cryptocurrencies claim that it can be, they can provide the traces, how exactly the transfer happens
but
between
the purpose
the purpose of
purpose of blockchain would be deviated. But I think there are some guidelines if the RBI level, for example, Indian RBI level, if the guidelines can be defined, so it can be addressed. Of course, it's only the time will answer that. But if you really see, I think countries like Japan are already they are talking about adopting cryptocurrency as one of the currency across the trade between the countries. So if that happens, of course, other countries have to follow up in case if they want to trade between those countries.
But the dollar domination would be...
Yeah. Now at the moment, there are few currencies. I wouldn't name the currency name again, but I think there are few currencies are dominating around the world, where they are taking with various political reasons, they are taking the dominance over other currencies. So that's always the war, right? I mean, each country is trying to make that denomination higher valued compared to other countries to take over the control over the world. Of course, now USD is taking over the other country currencies. Exactly.
Out of all the countries,
of course, for us, USD is the major revenue.
The most customers,
yeah, correct.
Like out of the countries you've seen, like where do you think which country had a very admirable work ethic?
Work ethic wise, I would say US, because even for us, even when we work with our customers, and so they try to work on what exactly they mean. They understand. I mean, I'm talking about from IT point of view. And of course, one of the other reasons is like more than 70% of Indian IT industries depends on US. That's the reason we have seen more of US customers than any other customers. But work ethics, it's again a subjective, subjective because it depends on the person and it depends on which customer you work and end of the day whom you're working with. Okay. But majority of US customers whom we work, we found the work ethics to be good.
Work ethics. Okay, the country, the same question I had to also ask. If an entrepreneur is trying, like government policies are very important for an IT industry to boom. So if a person wants to start up a business based on IT, which country would be best suited for him? Like what would be the country for you?
I mean,
if you had started all over.
Again, like any other companies, our companies also majorly depend on US market. As I told you, our revenue is 60 to 70% was coming. Of course, our presence in Middle East is increasing. So we may end up with 50-50. 50% from Middle East and 50% from US and Europe market, because we have started Europe as well. Because it depends on the focus of your geography, how exactly your kind of services is demand in that particular country. For anyone to start entrepreneur, again, I think it depends on what kind of services you bring, where the demand, you can create the demand for your services. For example, you try to generate XYZ services and you don't have a competition in a particular country and you happen to be the first company or first mover, then of course that country becomes your market. Okay, it depends on the services, but Indian IT industry point of view, still US takes the larger chunk.
But you see a large growth happening in the Middle East, is it?
Because of course they are in Middle East also. We are growing pretty big in Saudi. Saudi has a 2030 vision. Oman has a 2040 vision. So by part of this vision, right, most of the companies are adopting digital transformation. It's a phase of digital transformation for them. So when the digital transformation happens, a lot of things are moving into IT projects. So that has given us a lot of projects from this region.
So will we be seeing another group of people migrating to Saudi because they have a better pay?
Like for example now recently, if you have read it, so they are doing a lot of investment. Their infrastructure aggressively they are investing on infrastructure or tourism. So when this happens, it is going to become one of the trading hub. See, they are trying to build one of the largest airport transit in Riyadh. Okay, they are building one of the largest city in Neom city. They are getting, of course, oil is always there. They want to become the trading hub. Of course, they give the tax benefits and some of the other unique advantages from compared to other countries. So what they realize as a country is like they have to go beyond oil and try to create new avenues of revenue. And they just crossed 1 trillion economy recently. So 1 trillion is for a population of 30 or 35 million. It's commendable. So they have the capacity to invest and get the things up. Their GDP is very strong. Their reserves are very strong. So I see personally that Saudi is going to be one of the crucial market for Indian IT industry in next few years. And of course we are there. We have already registered. We have a local entity there. So we are going to focus for sure there.
Definitely. Novigos.
We started hiring local talents there. And another key aspect is compared to a few years back, and Saudi locals have started learning new techs, or they are becoming more adaptive to the IT, medicine, or law industry, multiple other industry. They are also trying to.
But I guess language is a barrier, right? Because I remember in Saudi the primary language which they use is Arabic. And for a company like Novigos, you use English?
No, we have now local Arabic speakers.
Okay.
We have hired local Arabic speakers, but there are people who are local compared to a few years back. Even the locals are adaptable to other languages, and they are very proficient in English now. Most of the customers we work, they're all highly educated. They have worked or studied in Western universities. There are few good universities have come in Saudi. So younger generation who are coming in last 5 to 8 years. There's a tremendous change in their skill set and treating the expats in the country
Yes,
and
yes.
treating it's thing. They are on par with global standards. What I would say now.
When you manage such a large company on such a scale, like what is the process of management like? I was very curious about that. Like, they are bigger companies, right? Even they, like, how does a CEO or any other CFO or any other position like that, what is their day-to-day activity goes like?
No, of course, our focus, one of the things is like we will always be focusing on how to grow the company and strategize. But over a period of time, as you grow, you will have a good, strong leadership next line to you, who will take care of a lot of things and who will make things easier for you. That's the reason hiring the right talent as your next line is also a very important aspect for your growth. Okay. So as part of, I'm a part of the CCO, Chief Customer Officer, and I take care of customer relationship and operations. Of course, I have good engagement managers, good sales managers under me. When we go to the market, they take care of the customer relationship. And once in a while, we as a leadership, we go and meet the customers, understand what exactly they look from us. And we travel heavily, in a year, 6 months, more than 3 to 6 months, we travel to the customer location, understand their, and we strategize how to grow the business. And on the day-to-day operations or delivery, we have a strong leadership line who are experienced in the industry more than 25 years. There are many people who have spent in the industry more than 20 years or 25 years and they take care of the delivery things. Of course, delivery is also key aspect for us, because when you deliver the quality aspects, then only the customer would be retained with you, and they are becoming repeat customers for you. And we take most important due diligence to make sure that our customers are with us, they are happy with us.
That's a great answer, summarize. It's like you came prepared for this question. Another thing which
he's a CCO.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows to talk.
Like, he knows to talk.
Okay.
Regarding your humble beginnings, like you had left a job. I feel it is a good company, and you have taken the risk along with your 3 friends. But initially, you wouldn't have clients or anything like that. But what was your turning point that
Breakthrough.
Yeah, breakthrough.
Of course, each milestone is important for us, but of course, I wouldn't say we didn't had a struggling time. Of course, first 2-3 years were definitely a testing time for all of us, because you never know whether those customers, because you will have a handful customers, whether those customers will give you a repeat business. That's one part. You have to give the quality deliverables to them. Second, initially your brand is not well established. To attracting the right talent was another challenge which we had to address. Third thing, you cannot afford to have local team in the marketing place, because of course initial days you will have to travel on your own. You will have to travel, get the business, again come back and take care of the delivery. So it was, you were wearing both the shoes for first 3 years until you get into a stage where you call it yourself as a stable moment. So first 100 people, I would say we had a testing time for us also, where we had to maintain the 100 people. At the end of the day, you are answerable for 100 employees, take care of their commitments, what we have given the commitments.
A huge risk.
So that time was a testament. Once you're 100, of course, challenge, I wouldn't say today also, after reaching 800, you have a different set of challenges. But initial challenges were different. Now the challenges are different. Now you need to build your better brand. You need to have larger workforce. You will have to find a streamlined and focused business line. You need to build yourself as a brand known for few of the offerings. Initially, we used to take any work comes on our way, IT services, but over a period of time, we have built focused lines on our side, niche lines, so that we grow on that particular side. Instead of growing horizontally, we will try to grow in vertically on few of the lines. Okay. Another major breakthrough, what we found is on 2016, we've started tying up with OEMs and becoming their preferred vendor. Again, it's
What
in
is
line
OEM?
with OEM is product companies like Oracle. How we have, our breakthrough was there's a product called UiPath, which is a robotic process automation product. We become their preferred partner. Again, if I have to recollect, the first conversation which I said, right time, right place. We were their early partners, and today out of 800, we are close to 150 people on that particular technology, and we are the top 3 vendors for them across the globe, and we are in the topmost tier, like platinum partners for them. So similarly, we have tied up with Darktrace, low code, no code, OutSystems, Mendix. There are many products we have tied up. This art we have learned in 2016. We have recently tied up with a product called Darktrace, which is a UK based product. Now we are their largest implementation partner is Middle East region. We have given them 15 to 20 customers in the region. So this art we have learned in 2016, and which has given a major breakthrough for us. And from 200 to 800, we grew in last 5-6 years because of that. I would say 4x we have grown in last 6 years because of our association with the OEMs.
This does not sound like luck.
Oh yeah, it's all planned.
I think it was more like an opportunity meant preparation.
Exactly.
For you guys.
Like you were prepared then and there.
Of course, as an entrepreneur, everyone would go through that struggling time. But continuously, you should focus on your goals, perceive it. Your dedication, hard work is very important. So a lot of sacrifices on your personal side also is required
the initial 2 years,
get into an entrepreneur journey.
Yeah, the initial 2 years would be like, did I take the right decision or not?
That I would say for me, it was never the case, because our goal was very clear that getting to entrepreneur journey was very focused effort. Even though I would say maybe our business planning or whatever we wanted to achieve in something wouldn't have gone through. But one thing was very common, that we wanted to do something different. So that was a common across all 4 of us, and which has taken us to a long 11 years journey.
What was it about being an entrepreneur? Was it the freedom? Was it the more of the monetary aspect, or what was it?
So monetary aspect is a byproduct of any entrepreneur, because once you are success, you will get it by default. But all 4 of us, we didn't actually start with that intention. For us, freedom and do something on your own, it's a sense of satisfaction. Okay, what you get is every day when you get up, you have a motivation to go to office, saying that you're doing something for your own, and you're achieving something and mark yourself as a differentiator compared to your peers or in the society, or creating your own name in the society. People started recognizing you based on your brand or what you achieved in last 10 years. I would say we have not achieved something very great, but for our level in Mangalore, we have established as our brand. There are a lot of things to achieve, many more things to achieve in our goals. Of course, we are putting our baby steps to achieve those goals.
From a student from PA college, you come a long way, I guess.
Yeah, of course. And I came out of the college, I have never dreamt that, what I'm going to do in my career. Over a period of time, that was common, that I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and we all 4 had that in our blood, and that's the reason we got into entrepreneur journey, is what I would say. Yes, if I look back my student life to now, I have a sense of satisfaction that yes, I've done something to call myself as satisfied. Yes, I've done something. Of course, goals are there. There are many more things to achieve, but whatever we achieved, a sense of satisfaction is definitely there.
Another question is, like you guys started like 4 of you people. So how important is teamwork? For example, a decision is to be made, but every person has a different kind of opinion. So how do you agree on it, and how important is teamwork?
Yes, when you have more than one as a co-founder, I think you have touched the right point. It is very important to have that equilibrium between you 4, and your understanding should be common. Your goal should be common. So we have a democratic setup. Of course, we have arguments, we have difference of opinion. As human beings, you will have that. But at the end of the day, whatever decision you have to take, it has to be a collective decision in the interest of the company. And as I told, it's a democratic setup. What we have, we followed that from day 1 to now, and which is one of the key aspects for our success as well, because that's very important. Any entrepreneur journey, if you are starting with a group of people, you need to have a democratic setup. You need to have the common goal. You need to have the common goals to achieve and common understanding between each one. That equation is very important between the co-founders to get into the next level, because that is the utmost things which you need to follow in your democratic setup, because end of the day decision has to be common,
because you grow together. Like
Exactly.
if you think about yourself, then there's
Exactly.
no point in growing.
Exactly.
Yeah, even I feel the same way. And there might be some point where one is more famous than the other. So did that thing?
It was never case with us anytime, because we never had such kind of feelings, or anytime we have come across. Each one of us come up with a different expertise. I would say we all four have a different thinking, and it worked well. It worked well, because in business you need to be optimistic, you need to be pessimistic at time, you need to have a risk calculation, calculated risk has to be there. So we four of us put our thought process in a different way, and there's a concept called six thinking hats, if you have heard. It's like putting your shoes into different way of thinking and finally getting a collective decision. Similarly, I would say we four of us put forward our points in all the different aspects and finally take a collective call which is better for the company.
It gives you different approaches.
Exactly.
Yeah, different perspectives, and then you agree on the most
certain calculations may go wrong, because ultimately only when you test it will come to know. But when four of us discuss and take a collective decision, your risk parameters are reduced, because you would have taken a decision based on your own experience, your strength and weakness you would be knowing better than anyone else, right? Based on that you would have taken the right decision.
You have also been traveling a lot, because I see your stories as well in Instagram. So you also play golf. Like, how important is playing golf?
I know. To be very frank, we are not a professional golfer.
Okay.
So it is one of our customer events where every year we participate as a charity event in US. So we are one of the sponsors for that event. It is actually a CSR activity which our customer does, and we go and participate because it's a noble cause, and it is for the underprivileged children or deceased children in US, and it is helping them, and they raise a good fund. They raise about $2 million every year, and it's happy to be part of that event. And as part of the event, they ask us to come and play. It's a good networking session. And golf is one of those game where the highest number of networking happens globally. And a lot of entrepreneurs or CXO level people go and play golf, and good networking session, and we take it as an opportunity for relax ourselves as well as network with our colleagues or peers or customers.
But don't you think that you'll have that pressure that when you're hitting that?
Of course. I mean, that's what I started with, that I'm not a professional golfer. It's putting out baby steps and learning.
I think all of them are
on
the
the course
same.
learning on the course of journey.
Have you met any famous celebrities or such in US?
Yes, of course, there are good golfers. They come and participate, because there are two things. One is in that every year the tournament, they have two set of people. One is a professional network, and one is people like us who are sponsors, who are part-time golfers, I would say. And the professional golfers, they call some of the good celebrities who play professional golf in the US, especially in the US market.
Because I see Donald Trump playing a lot of golf.
Yes, of course, US has a lot of golf courses, because that's one of the most sort of outdoor activity in US. Most of the guys, they want to relax themselves on the weekend or the weekday evening, they take up golf course. Of course, its infrastructure is also much more than Indian. This one. For example, if you take Mangalore or Bangalore, you will get a handful golf courses. But in US, if you go to majorly most of the cities, you play many of the golf courses. Of course, its availability also one of the factor to more proficient, right? They become more proficient because of the availability of golf courses. And it's a culture as well, because in Western world,
related to social status that give?
See, in US, I don't think so. It is like they give more importance for the social status based on the play. Of course, social status is also one of the, but that is not the social status. It's about the culture, what they build. If you go to Australia, the work time ends at 4:30. You need to have one outdoor activity. Okay, today if you see in Commonwealth or Olympics, Australia, China are getting more better, because it's a culture built over a period of time that you are engaged in childhood to your when you grow up, right? You're engaged with one of the outdoor activity, one of the sports thing. It's part of the culture. It's like it's a sin if you are not associated with one of the activity. It's like in Australia, if you're not hitting the ground after 4 o'clock, people would look at you that you're doing something wrong in your life.
It's all culture.
Yeah, it's a culture. I would say it's a culture. US, I wouldn't say not everyone, but everyone would have some hobby things to follow, which I think, in India it's lacking, where we don't pursue our hobby, and we'll have to, I think, adopt one of the hobby as a part, because it gives you a lot of relaxation. If you do something what you like to do, it gives you a lot of relaxation after your work life. That's exactly the work-life balance, which I would say. It need not be outdoor sports activity. It could be music, or it could be reading, or anything. So, which I think we should adopt is what I think.
Apart from work.
Exactly.
So what does Shihab, CC of Novigo, do after work?
I mean, I don't have that luxury at the moment. Of course, I also have the regret, but I started at least giving importance to my health lifestyle, in the way of eating, the way of working, or it could be walking or workout.
Maybe a professional golfer.
Last 1 year I've been started doing that work-life balance, because health is also very important part of your life. And as you grow, you shouldn't regret after certain years that you have missed to follow discipline in your life. That's something which I've last 1 year I've started doing it. I would love in case if there was a golf court and start playing every day. But there's one in Mangalore, Pellicula Golf Club.
Yeah.
So maybe I should enroll there and start myself.
Maybe we will too.
One day.
One day.
Did it boost your productivity by any chance when you changed your diet or?
Exactly. It's because your it gives you more fresh mind when you come back from when you do something on your lifestyle change, right? It gives you fresh mind, fresh thoughts. It's definitely changed because it gives you more energy when you hit back to the work. Okay, I mean, I strongly see in last 1 year I get more energy when you come back to work.
And Sadat had told that about social status of golf, but there's another sport where I feel that it's more of a networking session rather than sports, which is F1. You know, the events where multiple celebrities and they all
Exactly.
come. So, do you think that is also?
Yeah, it's equally. I think you have. I mean, I missed to say that it's equally like golf. There are a lot of customers. A lot of people go to F1 session. One is of course their passion. Second, it's a networking event again. So in fact, recently one of our customers have offered us to watch one of the Formula One series. I think we might get in next 3 months. We may travel to that particular place. So they have asked us to join them, and it's so one is of course I follow F1. Second, it's a good networking with our partner company because we get to meet their senior leadership also. So when you go with the leisure and meet them, of course your bonding becomes very important, because relationship is also one of the key aspect in getting the business. How you maintain your relationship with your customers, with your partners, or with your partner network like OEM partner network, or with your sales guys, with your own employees as well.
I think it's not just technical. You need to know how to maintain with people and stuff.
I think also doing it during those events, I mean, a person is more happy when they go there. So that feeling is associated with the client as well, because they all had a good time at that event.
Exactly. Because when you go and leisure time, right, you open up and even the customers open up, right? So your bonding becomes much more strong. You will try to understand them more than the remote conversations. So of course IT works with the remote conversation. In COVID time, 3 years, we have not traveled anywhere. 2.5 years, our business ran as usual. In fact, we grew also. We have met, we have got few customers whom we have not met, we have not seen for almost 2 years, and we have met, we have done business.
You follow F1, is it?
Yes.
So who is your favorite driver?
What is his name? Recently. I mean, earlier
Hamilton.
Hamilton was my favorite. Recently, the last year Spanish guy,
Carlos.
Yeah. Didn't recall.
Too much work.
Exactly.
And any place you're traveling soon?
Yes, of October I'm traveling to Europe and US. October first week, October whole month I'll be of the country, and it's part and parcel of.
So I guess it's fun to be.
Yes, travel is one of these places where you will learn the most, and it gives you a lot of exposure. and I feel travel time where you get to meet the new culture, you will understand the local culture, it helps you in business and your mind opens up. Because I think I would say last 10 years one thing which I enjoyed is travel for work, because it's not only gave you business, it gave you a lot of exposure, and you get a lot of experience sharing with others. When you travel and come back, you can share that experience and you get a lot of learnings. Each day you will find new challenges in travel. It's not easy, right? You will get a lot of challenges, and I take it in a sporting manner, and I take it in a different way. Some people take it in a negative things, right? But I take it positive, that okay, each things are learning. Because in my last Europe travel, there was a train strike. I had to travel from France to Switzerland. I had to find my own way to reach there. So it was a fun journey, and I was able to find my own way to do it. At the end, of course, for that moment of time, it was a bit tiring, but at the end, it was fun because I could explore a lot of local transport, how things work there, and I could meet a lot of local co-passengers in my local train, and I could get
conversations with them.
Exactly. I mean, I love to talk, and even my flight journey, train journey, or local transport journey, I engage conversation, be it a taxi driver or a restaurant owner, or it could be your restaurant waiters or anyone. I engage in a conversation in their own way. I try to understand their business. It need not be on my own field. I to understand what are their challenges, how they have got into entrepreneurship, how they got into job, what is their education background, which country they are from, and of course in Uber is where I travel the most, right? I engage conversation with them, how exactly they have migrated from one country to the other country, because most of the time in Western world you find Uber drivers are migrated from other countries, how they adopted the situation. It's fun to learn, and there are a lot of things to learn from each field. It could be a restaurant, it could be a taxi, it could be your any other field, right? You will try to get more things to learn how other industries are working. Exactly what I try to say. It opens up your mind.
It's always about the curiosity.
Exactly.
And, you never know, that guy might be a future connection or something.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you never know. Each connection, right? We meet our friends, friend, our college mates, our juniors, alumni network. We meet people in a common forum, events. We participate in a lot of roadshow events, which I didn't highlight on that point. One of the business promotion activities which you do is like we participate in a lot of business events where you get to meet a lot of people. And that networking is also very important for us to get into business. And you never know which person would help you in business. And of course, one of the favorite thing which I always share with my employees, my customers, one flight journey has got me a customer in 2016.
I was about
from Bangalore to Mangalore. I was traveling, and if I have to name it, Karnataka Bank is that customer. And I met the IT person of Karnataka Bank after attending. We happened to be attending the same event in Bangalore. We didn't meet in the event place, but while in the airport we met, and he identified with the goodie bag, which I collected from there, and that's how he identified me, and we started engaging this conversation. Within 24 hours, I got my first business in that particular area. So that's my favorite thing, which I always tell. Okay. There are a lot of things which we have. The first conversion in Mangalore when we started a journey, that's also very close to my heart. We were selling a school management product in Mangalore, and we sold to a company or school in Mangalore with a nominal of 15,000 rupees per month, which is very close to my heart. Our first win in Oman as an international customer, it was like again, which is a very challenging project for us, which we could execute. That's again close to our heart. Then our first e-commerce project from Europe, where one of the biggest couldn't take it up because of the low budget, in which we couldn't take it up. Again, that's again some of the important wins. Our first banking customer from US. A lot of milestones. We remember all those small things which we have achieved in last 10 years, and there are many things which we have each year. And most of the things we remember because each thing is adventurous and thrill for you, because you have something you have done different from previous day.
And damn, that is interesting. But you have opened your offices in other countries as well. But why do you open it, in all the countries? Like you can do it, expand it in India itself, right? So what is the importance?
I think the primary difference is like India, what we opened office, it's all delivery centers. But what we opened in local offices, it is for two things. One, we eventually want to build a local team or a local delivery network, delivery people there. Second, of course, you need a local office to give that local presence. You need to have your sales engine there, especially sales engine, marketing engine, and your engagement managers or somebody who's engaging with the customer conversation. These three are important pillars for us in each market. That's the reason for US, UAE, Saudi, we started much earlier than other countries. Of course, last year we started in Qatar, Netherlands, UK, we've started, and we are starting in Canada, and we have started in UK. Also, we have hired in local. So eventually, the growth happens. Like even the local team also would grow. Of course, your majority things would grow in India in terms of headcount, but local team also growth has to happen to expand your footprint there. Because every customer would ask, do you have a local office here?
Okay,
of
so
course,
it's
even
about
if
the
they are
presence.
doing it outsourcing, without local office also you can get business, but local office gives that edge.
It gives you more credibility.
Exactly,
I feel.
credibility because you are locally present. It helps you to build the brand locally as well.
Regarding the IT field itself, we see a lot of CEOs of Indian backgrounds, IIT, MIT. Don't you feel that it's the loss of talent going outside of India? How do we cut out that bleed?
That's been a challenge for us over a period of time. Of course, India has got enough talents and other things. Yes, some of the good brains have migrated from here to there. That's always a personal choice, what they want to achieve and their goals. Of course, I think I wouldn't say India is lack of opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities in India as well, and where if you want to explore, there are enough opportunities. But again, it depends on individual to individual what they want to achieve and what exactly.
Go for a better life, I think.
Exactly.
Lifestyle. End of the day, it's about work-life balance.
Each one has a pros and cons. I mean, again, I would say it's subjective, where person to person it varies. Some people would love that life. Some people, I've seen people who have migrated and come back to India, and people who have migrated and they have never come back also is there. There are both. It's all again subjective, person to person. Of course, quality of life, the earning potential, exposure wise, there could be advantage outside as well. So it's subjective.
It's subjective.
Across US also, if you see, there are a lot of Indians who have become US citizens over a period of time and continue to IT industry.
Origin.
The moment IT, because we have marked the name, because in the globally, if you see the percentage, we would be ranking highest number of percentage contribution to IT industry, whether they work in India or outside India. That's the reason when it comes to IT, India stands out first.
It's not the population that high. The small percentage is big enough to get that identity.
Exactly. See, of course, we have now, currently, if you see, we have the highest number of youth coming out.
Yeah, the largest.
Because there's an aging population in Japan and Europe,
China.
China. There are a lot of places where aging population is. It's an opportunity for Indian youngsters. I would say, be it an entrepreneur or be it an employee, it's an opportunity for Indian youth generation, especially in the age of 18 to 30. You have a lot of opportunity to explore is what I would say. Coming years, it is going to increase. If you hit the right time, right place, definitely there are a lot of opportunities.
Can this be the Indian century?
I wouldn't disagree with that. Definitely, I feel it's an opportunity for us and it could be an Indian century.
Because nowadays, even in the political field, I guess a lot of prime minister candidates are coming.
A lot of Indian faces.
Indian faces.
All over the globe.
Yes. So over a period of time, they become local citizens there. I mean, it's like Indian origins.
Indian origins, but they are not.
But their roots might be from India,
Roots
but they're more American.
That's also
than
we
Indian.
we can definitely be proud of, because somebody who was born and brought up in India has migrated to that country and they have made a name for themselves, be it in astronautics, IT, scientists or medicine field. There are a lot of Indian names who have been successful across the world.
Do you take any inspiration from Elon Musk or anything like that? Because you know what is happening with X, Twitter, and Neuralink. A lot of things he's bringing.
He's an inspiration for all of us, because one differentiator is like, again, he always differentiates himself from others. Every time. Be it his initial venture of net. What is it?
PayPal, I guess.
PayPal. He was a differentiator. Then Twitter. He has taken over the Twitter, the way he has taken
Starlink.
over, the way he has optimized more than he has taken over, the way he's shown to the other IT industry that how you can optimize the cost, yet you can run successfully, is the key differentiator, which I am taking inspiration from him. And Tesla, of course, made SpaceX, Hyperloop. I mean, you take anything. He has differentiated. He has taken bold moves. Okay. Of course, critics would be there for anyone. But I would take the positive side from him, that he has done difference to the world and he has achieved a lot. Okay. That's something which, as an entrepreneur, I should be inspired from him.
Do you have a particular source where you consume knowledge or anything of that sort?
Of course, social media is one of them. Nowadays, social media is majorly. You keep reading. You keep reading entrepreneurs' success story or any company's successful journey. For example, series like Shark Tanks or Shark Tank Indian version, or you see a lot of entrepreneurs coming up and giving their ideas. Those things opens up your idea as well.
It should be encouraged.
Yeah, it should be encouraging to others to do something different. You see that series. I would suggest to everyone to see such kind of series where you will biographies, successful stories, blogs are there, where somebody would have written their success story in a different way, and Shark Tank kind of series. These are the things will open up your mind. Keep reading, because one of the things which reading habits are reducing nowadays, youngsters stop reading.
Attention span is
concentration
like
span. Yeah, concentration span because of reels. I would say reels. Because even I am there in social media too. Why I am more actively participating, because I want to know what's happening around the world. I shouldn't be left out when I talk to younger generation. Yeah. So FOMO is there. That's the reason even I am there in social media. But sometimes there are a lot of good things also you get to know. Even it is a reel, right? If you pick the right things, you get good things from the reels as well. But because of reels, I feel concentration level or your focus has reduced. You can't see more than 5 minutes or concentrate on things more than 5 minutes. I think that is something which
is
our youngsters should focus on.
Just that satisfaction is very quick.
Exactly.
So people have stopped having patience.
Exactly.
To do anything. They can't commit for anything for more than even a week.
Yeah, correct.
Even in marketing point of perspective, in social media agency, reels is a very important tool. Like, you get a lot of lead generation from there. So our main focus is the first initial 3 seconds, because the moment the first 3 initial seconds is boring, even though the next 15 seconds is very interesting, they directly swipe it up.
The hook.
The hook. It's the hook.
Exactly. I think that's the right point. I think that giving that attention is very important. I think you would know better because you are expert in that field. But I think that's right. Even for us also, when you watch, first few seconds very important.
Yeah.
Then you try to continue only if you feel it's interesting for you.
Right.
Privacy and everything. So,
are you running late?
No, I think. What's the time?
It's 8.
Yeah.
One question. How IT industry is marketing for this? Like, I'm sure about roadshows and all, but do you participate digital or just physical? Like, you meet clients?
It's a combination of all. We do physical meetings. We do networking in a social or gathering. We do roadshows and workshops we create. We create webinars. We do digital marketing. We do cold emailing. We do cold calling. It's a combination of all. And third, word of mouth also. Okay, where customer gives a reference. Your successful journey over a period of time gives a customer reference. Of course, the last one which we do is like OEM references. OEM feels that you are the right partner for them. They go and refer to the customer saying that yes, they are the right partner to go. So it's a combination of all.
The operation you run is a B2B business.
Yes, we are into B2B.
B2B.
Completely
yes.
B2B, right?
only.
Any time in future, do you have any plans of running it B2C or something?
So B2C, of course, you need to have some offerings, products, or a SaaS-based product offerings. We have certain things, like for example, Nile Tech
one second. Could you explain what is SaaS?
it's a software as a service, where software as a service, which as a product, then we can get into B2C. There are some roadmaps are there where B2C space also we are exploring, but as of now we are fully focused on B2B.
So what is the end goal of Novigos? Like, what is your milestone that you are trying to reach out?
Of course, every enterprise will have a
Yeah, that's right.
So
Vision.
as of now we are working to streamline, grow bigger at the moment, but in a long-term scalable model, what we are looking at, and create a lot of job opportunity in Mangalore, because that's a sense of satisfaction that you've created 800 job opportunity at the moment. Why not 2,000 people? That's a goal what we have kept for this. Eventually, it could be an IPO or getting associated with a larger brand, could be another option, but we are too early for that. But we at the moment we are focusing on streamlining our business line, getting more streamlined, marking our name as a niche player in few of the areas.
Are you funded by any chance? Or
We are
so
bootstrapped and
100% of the
self-funded.
Oh, that's great. So you guys have anything else to ask?
I think we can wrap this session up.
Yeah.
Right? Before we finish,
We have a quick rapid fire question. It's going to be 5 questions, so yeah. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Historical figure.
Historical or anyone?
Okay, I would go with Narayan Murthy in IT because he has done few things differently. So I would want to have a dinner with him and understand how exactly he has done enterprise journey started and how he thinks he has done differently and mark himself as Infosys.
One skill or talent you wish you had?
I feel I lack creative skills. Okay, maybe I wish I had more creative skills along with this. Would have been a good combination, is what I feel.
Okay. The most memorable piece of advice you have received in your career?
Yes, when I started my enterprise journey, a lot of people asked why you have taken this step. It's a bold step, a lot of risky steps. But I have had a couple of mentors who said, don't give up at any cost, and continue your focus on your goal and continue. So that's the most memorable piece which I would have, and which has helped me to come all this way.
Okay. So favorite country you have visited?
Switzerland.
Switzerland. If you could solve any one global challenge with technology, what would it be?
Of course, I think environment challenges is one of the major focus area. So in case if I could solve something which can make the environment better, maybe using IT, I would love to do that.
Right. So
we'll wrap this up.
yeah.
Thank you so much. This was